Coach, not exactly the kind of weather we want to be playing rugby in, but how does that impact on the plans that you had for today before getting onto the field?
It wasn't something we'd planned on either. We'd left a really rainy Durban, and we've come down here 2 days of fantastic sunshine, something we haven't seen. We've got the rain. But, you know, we're used to playing in a bit of wet weather on that side, so hopefully it'll be something that plays into our favour.
Two incredible packs of forwards here today. That's where the big battle is going to be. What's your special plan here for Naka Bulls?
We know they've got a big pack of forwards, so without giving away any secrets, obviously, we'd want to try and keep them moving a little bit, maybe give the ball a bit of width, and see if they can keep up with us playing the width game. But it's going to be a really, really tough test today.
Showers of blessing over an Easter weekend to be out here playing in this competition. What does it mean to you and your boys?
It means everything to us. It's you know, we speak about all the families that have been devastated in the KZN area, so we're kind of playing for them too. But it's just nice to play against other teams from other provinces, rather than just playing week in and week out against within our own leagues. So it means a lot to us, and we're going to give it our best shot.
Bragging rights over KZN versus the bragging rights over the nation's capital. Who's going to win this game today?
The smart money, I guess, is going to be on Rovers. Let's see how we go.
Listen, just final question. To people at home, Heritage Rugby. We started this journey with you guys about a year ago in KZN. How important is it for club rugby to be on the pedestal that it is now?
It's huge for club rugby. You see a lot of focus being put on the Varsity Cup and the Varsity Shield to an extent. You see a lot of emphasis being placed on schoolboy rugby. We need club rugby, and competitions like this and with the people getting behind it, it can only benefit club rugby. So well done to everybody involved.
Yeah, with the captain of the College Rovers, Jared Crouch, you've made the long journey up to Johannesburg. What are your expectations of this match in the nation's capital?
We're happy to be invited by the Blue Bulls to participate in this Easter tournament. We know we had a couple better build up to the KZN flights back home, so we're actually dedicating this game to our family, our friends, and to the ones that have lost loved ones. So looking forward to a tough game, but the guys are prepared, looking to a good game.
You come here with a massive reputation as the kings of Sharks country. You're up here now facing the kings of Bulls country. What are your expectations? What is your gut telling you about how good this team is from up here?
We know quite a few of the guys, so we're looking forward to it. We normally have all the big names in our team, so they got all the big names, so we're the underdogs today. But we're going to give them a go for 80 minutes.
Where's this game going to be won and lost in the weather that we're facing here today?
Definitely in the forwards. It starts with us today, so we're going to give it a go from the start.
You've got some fantastic backline players as well, and guys that can really let go. It neutralizes things a bit with the conditions we're experiencing.
Yeah, it does, but we're going to create the ball and keep clean balls to our backs, and then they can finish it and get all the glory.
Wish you the best of luck, man.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Coachie, is begin net vandag hoe voel jy?
Excited. We're not used to wet weather in Gauteng. So excited to have new opposition that we don't usually play against.
Dink jy die challenge gaan beter of gaan dit moeiliker wees?
Nou, definitief moeiliker. Ons het 'n paar goeie ball carriers, maar ek het self gesien daai manne is 'n paar groot manne, so titaniese stryd wat voor lê.
Good luck, coach.
Thank you very much. Dankie.
Ben, a year ago, we had the fantastic privilege of having the Carlton Cup final at Loftus, and here we are a couple of months on, starting a brand new year with a fantastic competition.
Yeah, it's fantastic to host all the teams from all over the country. I think we were hoping that this Gold Cup will go on. So for the Easter Festival, a great initiative from the Blue Bulls to bring all the sides here, having all the Blue Bull sides playing against the rest of South Africa. Obviously, as a Harlequin chairman, very proud. Harlequin 120 years old. We've got the PE Harlequins that came up. We've got the Durban ladies that came up. So it's great, not only for club rugby, but also for our brand, and to have our brothers and sisters here.
Just explain to the folks at home what's at stake once this weekend is done.
Now, once this weekend is done, obviously we start with the Carlton. We all claim that it's the toughest competition in South Africa and even the World Club competition. So 8 teams, World Sport Betting came in to come and help us, make it bigger and better. The fact that we're now on SABC, streaming it out, our players going from amateur to professional. So we're just moving better and bigger, and club rugby is growing.
I'm going to be cheeky and say, if Pretoria doesn't end this weekend triumphant, what does it mean?
No, it will mean that we'll have to go back to the drawing board. With a president like Willem, he's very boastful about where we are with the clubs. And I think as a collective, there are definitely other unions with fantastic clubs and teams to play, but as a collective, I think the Bulls are definitely on the up.
Welcome one and all to the WSB Easter Club Rugby Festival at the home of Harlequins Rugby here in Pretoria. Our matchup today is fantastic. We got the Battle of Pretoria versus Durban, the Battle of Bulls Rugby Champions versus Sharks. It is the battle of the Carlton Cup holders versus the Moore Cup holder. This is the Naka Bulls against College Rovers. And Lawrence Apaka joining me in ridiculous conditions earlier today with the rain falling in the nation's capital. We set for a fantastic match, Mr. Sepaka.
I certainly agree, Udo, and I mean it's a lovely rugby situation here because there's no sun whatsoever to speak of. Rugby players tend to enjoy this, especially the big guys. But the backs, they're not so much a fan of this wet weather because the ball is a bit slippery, but obviously a good defending team. This weather is kind of good for you. It means you have to push off the line and push the ball carrier under pressure so that he actually has to double tap when he actually handle that ball.
And you can see the rain falling here. The ball is out in full swing regardless of that rain, but it is an opportunity for us just to reflect on what has been a tragic week for South Africa with close to 400 people losing their lives and 4,500 families displaced because of the flooding in KZN. And we heard earlier the side from Durban College Rovers saying that they're dedicating this match to all the victims of the flood conditions. The referee for today's match is Christopher Allison. But what a fantastic lineup College Rovers have brought up into Johannesburg. And you look at Inichadebe, he is a talent of note, Mr. Sepaka.
No, I certainly agree. I mean, this man has got a bit of history. I mean, he started varsity level and he did so well. And he just went a mess at some point. But beautiful to see that he's come and actually playing club rugby as well. It's lovely to see.
Game is underway. Kickoff from the men in blue from Durban College Rovers. Naka Bulls now carrying here. This is always going to be a war of attrition up front in conditions like these. It's a matter of who can control the tight facets and the rucks and the mauls. So a good start there. As we see Sydney Tobias, the son of the legendary Errol Tobias, over the ball there, just protecting a man who, of course, turned out for the runners-up last year, Northern Rhinos, who are involved in this competition as well. He's made the change to the champions. Now that he's also got the Bulls contract in the bag as well.
No, I certainly agree, Udo. I mean, I suppose he got lured as well to the greener pastures. I suppose the team that won the league, and it makes a lot of sense. It's closer to the Bulls as well. If he got a contract with the Bulls, it would have been less travel for him to go up and down if he has to come from club to province. So it actually works out fine for him.
And Imakwabane getting some good touch here. That man in question, Sydney Tobias. First line out of the game. Conditions are incredibly tough for those players out there. Finds his jumper. Absolute precision. And now the truck is looking to get out of the driveway. Has that gone forward? For now, though, the Naka Bulls control it. Back of the scrum there by Johan van der Westhuizen. And this, Lawrence, is where this game is going to be won and lost today. Scrum of Jerome Bastic. Feeds to the players on the fringes. Mokobani gets it. And first little box kick of the day. It is that Lock who controlled the ball in chase. The referee saw an infringement there.
The 10-meter radius, I mean, if a kicker is within the 10 and you guys must get out of that 10 to make sure that you go on side, or you must be put on side with someone who's coming from behind. Unfortunately, not being used to correctly. I mean, lucky there for the visitors to actually get that ball back because it was a knock-on from the left winger who couldn't control that ball. I mean, for them, I mean, we're talking about forwards, loving the physical stuff, but the backs is going to be a lot of kicking. So the back three is going to be very crucial to how they control those high balls because there's going to be a lot of them today.
Now the kicking tee is out. Big call being made here in their own half. The man who, of course, took the ball in contact there was Duran Kramek, who hails from Westville. But I tell you what, he was part of the Irish national sevens team for some time. And stepping up with the kicking duties today. Very important kick here. It's going to be a long one.
No, certainly agree, and I'm surprised that obviously mere fact that he's got Inicha Debe who can kick as well, but he fact is taking this one, the fullback Ruben van den Blerk, is that probably he's got range.
Certainly has the range quite easily, but he's just pushed it to the left. No real wind to speak of here today, so a very good contact by Ruben van Blerk, man from Pretoria. But not able to get the first three-pointer of the game.
No, certainly not. I mean, the range was so good as well. It just need to work on the angling and the direction. That's the only thing that was missing. Now, he didn't even take a lot of steps. 1, 2, hit it right, and I suppose the setting up as well was good. I mean, the kick out as well is very important. Put them back in their own half, so they must actually kick themselves out of it. And obviously, if it's not out in the 22, they must keep it in. And it's going to be contested. It's going to be a very interesting question when they come to that department.
Really good take there. My Brandon Swart keeps it alive as well. Lindsay's side a penalty in the process.
The tight five just want to play, and the back is like, we're not going to play in this area. Patience. It's very important. Obviously, the men from KZN College Rovers are ill-disciplined, comes to the ruck area. You can't take shortcut and come to the area. I mean, John is actually watching the gate, and if it's not open, you're not allowed to enter there. And you kind create your own gate coming to that section. So obviously, the tackler not rolling away quick enough, which actually enables the defender to come in and bring an extra person to come still. Let's see if Mr. Tobias is going to actually get this one. The first one was brilliantly thrown. Obviously, not much contested, but at some point, the pressure is going to start mounting.
Goes to the back this time. Good take. And now that drive up the field will come. They haven't left the ball behind. It's Tobias who now has possession, but it's been stripped away. Oh, and we see the clear indication there of that bar of soap. That's what the ball will be today. You can see the pools of water on the field here at the Harlequins' home ground. Will be Mokwabane with a chance to drive his team upfield.
Yeah, no, it was a beautiful set drive. Unfortunately, the college guys actually left it too long to sack it. Once it starts moving, and then unfortunately, there'll be more than one defender involved, and that one cannot be sacked, because any sacking after that is going to be deemed illegal, which was exactly the case. And then that with that advantage in hand as well, the Nakabola tried to still swing the ball, and then you can see the backs. That's what I'm saying. They're not keen on handling that ball. Let's try to keep the forwards busy as long as possible. If we need to run, bring it back.
Finds his man again, and now that line-out drive will ensue. This is so difficult to defend against. If you can get front foot ball fairly quickly, you see the numbers joining now, and it's circling. Scattered is the defense, but they seem to have a hand on it there. That man's got to roll away. He's in the wrong position. Looks like Sipulele Nonto just finding himself on the wrong side of things. Nonto, born in Uitenhage, up here in Pretoria now. Keep driving, edging away at the line. Penalty, Naka Bulls. In fact, they've gone over. The line indiscernible in this weather. But try time for the side who are as close to home as Harlequins will be on this ground.
I see the number 10 jersey is looking for a better place to kick. I mean, you look at the flag, Denim Mokobane there. He's actually listening the puddle of water that in his cover as we see the try scorer there getting up. I mean, guess what? Centers are coming to mingle with the forwards now coming in, because then outside there is very cold. It's very important that they get in the mix.
Try scorer there, Charles Goodolfs, man from Pretoria, Affy's boy. Played Blue Bulls representative rugby at just about every single level. So he's the first try scorer of the day. Makwabane now to add the extra 2.
As he lines up, and you can see, I mean, the rain is pouring, but it's that soft rain that can go on for hours and hours, probably days sometimes. And as long as there's no lightning, I'm sure there's no issue. Beautiful. Missed.
Yeah, pulled it to the left as well, like the first kick from College Rovers. So it's a 5-0 lead after 7 minutes. But the Bulls, Naka Bulls, will feel that they have a game plan that they can pursue here. It's all based on accuracy of the throws and the lineouts, and then immediately from the possession, the drive. Restart here by College Rovers. They go deep into the territory of Naka Bulls. They circle around that one. What a fantastic carry here it is by Stefan Vermeulen. He takes it up a little bit further. Now Echad Boshoff has a ball in hand. They want to get this back as quickly as they possibly can. Forward standing off. They will continue the assault on the advantage line. Still available to them. Jerome Bastic, he gets his side going. Sean van der Best stays in contact there. Even Boerdet staying. Afraid he's gone to ground and he's lost it forward. Just got to keep it so simple in this weather.
No, certainly you can, but sometimes it means you have to be extra careful when you carry that ball. How you carry it, keep the ball safe. When you go into contact, you can't use the ball now. There's an extra buffer for you to go. And as we can see that the first break, the ball is not protected. He went in with the shoulder that he's supposed to land with. And unfortunately, too much pressure on that slippery slope. And over the ball is not going to stick in that point. I mean, you can see as he tried to correct it, it was unfortunately already spewing in a different direction.
Right, here's what we've been looking forward to. The first big scrum. Two massive backs, Lawrence.
Yeah, I can tell you this massive. I mean, the visitors have got lighter in terms of the front rowers, but when you look at the at the home team, I mean, they're packing very strong, 120s, 110, 119 respectively. So it's going to be important how they play that weight to their visitors. As we go in the first scrum, it's going to be good channel one. But also key, we're going to have a lot of these collapsing today because you can't have your feet too far behind. You got to really keep your feet underneath you and control it.
Do you change tactics in this weather in terms of how you go about the scrum?
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Your feet needs to change slightly. Instead of having those stance of going low as possible, it means you need to stretch wider. But at this stage, you need to get them under. It means you're going to set up a bit higher. The ref needs to help them as well and tell them, listen, guys, it's wet. Let's set up a bit higher. Then you can walk on your hips once you're in the scrum. At least then you can control situations. I mean, as you can see now, obviously, when the pressure comes as well and the slippery slope of the grass and the water, and I mean, even you've got as longest as possible, the chances of you keeping yourself up is going to be virtually impossible if they really go into each other.
Right, referee Christopher Allison has had a chat. And we'll have a feed once again by Gerardo Jars. And from Cluttersville, scrum off for Rovers. You see the position there from Bulls. Very good, but Rovers get it out as quickly as they can. And now up the field, Duran Krumek. And that was part of the Irish national 7 team. He gets them going. Lovely carry by Sibulele Nonto. But it's stripped away. And, referee calling for that first knock on there. Naka Bulls ball.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, they're actually ambitious at this point in time. I mean, you think that they went that wide so quickly, it was going to be a question is now how do they control a ball after that? Like I said, same thing. Ball protection is poor. You can't have the ball in the hand that you're going into with the shoulder. You got to keep away from contact because once you go into contact, you fall in a free hand, you have chance actually protecting the ball because you get hit, double hit, that's probably the easiest way to dislodge that ball. Now, if you're going to carry the ball in the same arm, it's easy for the defense. They don't even to try to wrap you. They just target the ball. Sometimes the backs will actually go directly for your ball to snatch it out.
So this time it will be a feed by scrum half of Naka Bulls, Jerome Bastic. Chance just to reflect on his history, having been born in Germiston, like so many of the players at his club, going to Maria High School. Also played for University of Pretoria, the Tuck side. Much better scrum. See the flat backs controlled well. A little bit of a wheel there by Naka Bulls, but they get it out the open side of the field. What was that penalty for?
I can only assume it's a dive in the rock. And looking at the face of the Nakabala coming out of there, was really not happy. Someone must have got hold of his jersey somehow, tried to stretch it, see how far it can go. And that must have tempted with his temper as well. And Ini Khadebe was going to try to get some more innings from that penalty.
This young man, what a story it is around Ini Khadebe, who has always been held as a talent from high school days. And since Craven Week, he's just not been able to really slot in effectively at any one of the major provinces or franchises in South Africa. As we just have a look at that infringement again. But what a story it is, Lawrence.
No, certainly a sad and also a missed opportunity there because Ini Khadebe is one of those rare players who can play rugby for you flat, technically, and he actually can mix it up with the best of them. For some reason, why they didn't see fit for him to be any in a setup. I mean, from the Sharks and obviously come to the Lions, now basically back to the Sharks, which they've come around for the second time, which is good to see that he's enjoying his rugby, he's happy, and obviously he's going back to the club as well.
Yeah, we We saw the difference in lineouts there. Wally Ford, the hooker for Rovers, not able to establish clean possession. Now Ini Khadebe looking to make the Bulls pay. That big punt upfield. No real angle to speak of there. And unfortunately, it's gone in and out. And you see the camaraderie there. Ini Khadebe just getting a little bit of sympathy from his fellow players because the conditions are mercilessly tough.
Well, that ball was deceiving indeed. I mean, it looked like it was about to bounce up and decided not to anymore. In the last minute when he attempted to pick it up, usually use your feet in that instance, but he felt that it was good enough to pick up. But it actually got him off guard as well. That just shows you what kind of grabber it actually would hit you hard if you kick it hard enough. So that not that it's slow. That ball was literally, it was a miss kick to be honest, because he didn't hit it like he wanted to hit it to exit. And I was lucky, obviously, for him. And he ended up knocking that ball after a brilliant kick from him, forcing the Nakabola to actually find another plan. But going back to the most important part, I think this part is going to be crucial for both teams. I mean, if I look at Judd Crunch here, he needs to keep his head up. His head is actually bent, and then usually tight heads use that opportunity to take your spinning line out, and the power from behind cannot be channeled through you. Hence, that penalty. His head alone was very important for him to be able to keep his power. But if his head is down, and then it means you have to now basically recharge and go lower, and you can't go lower and you're already backpedaling. And this instance, and the tight head of the Nakabala, actually Primo used it very good and just used it, and his power was channeled right through, spinning line they call it.
Yeah, Jared Crouch, a big unit, 1.82 meters tall, 115 kilograms, but you saw he was pushed back there by superior scrum of the Bulls. We've had, what is it, 4 or 5 encounters in the scrum now in the space of the last 5 minutes. It's an indication of where the full 80 is going to go.
Listen, today, if you're not a fan of scrums, might as well try and find a cup of tea every time it happens, because we're going to get a lot of them today. But the lineouts are good.
Fantastic lineout again. Thrown towards the back, where it was Eckhard Boshoff who eventually grabbed that out of the sky. And now Bastic will play around with his team. You see that little taunting run coming through from the try scorer, Goedals. Opts not to go there. Once again, takes it into contact. The back of the scrum there was JP Alberts. Attacking very directly are the Bulls. This is good. But fantastic counter. Good defense here from Rovers. Man over the ball as he sealed it off. Up to ruck him off it. Basti gets it out again. I don't know how that pass got out of the hands there of Brandon Swart. But he managed somehow to get it. And now inside centre, Goedals. He's not going to be stopped in his tracks. Basti going left and right. This time the ball in the hands of Eckhard Boshoff. Goes the other way this time. JP Alberts, Pretoria man, played for the Griffins in his career. Shouting for it all over the park here are the men in canary yellow. The ball comes out. Quick defense. Have they stripped it away here? No, still on the side of the Bulls. And you just cannot be too cute with your passing today. Frustrated Bulls player there.
He is frustrated because that pass was actually a spot on, but the problem it was not aimed for him. So him and his right winger were actually competing for the same ball, which ended up them losing it both because you need to communicate. I mean, a flat pass is already a problem in its own because it's a dangerous pass. It's a wet ball. It needs to be a bullet. Otherwise, intercept is going to be key.
And the referee, Christopher Allison, just having a stern word there with captain of College Rovers, Jared Crouch. Not too sure what that would be about. He's probably just warning some of the players for being a little bit irresponsible around the breakdown.
I'm actually surprised why they're not going for a scrum. They've got a dominant scrum at the moment, but they feel like their pick and go game is also on, which is also could be a topsy-turvy situation depending how the ball carriers are behaving.
This little step inside there. Primo Ngube. Keeping it alive, they're driving up the line. They seem to be over it. Where will this ball pop up? The outside centre now. He gets over. Johan Grobler, the vice-captain of the team, as he dotted down now. Referee Allison says it's gone forward.
Yeah, I think when he attempted to John Grobler to actually roll himself into a scoring position, I think got not sort of pickpocketed on the ground, because someone actually realized if this guy does go over, we might lose his ball, stripped him of his ball, and it was deemed a turnover. But I suppose with the scrum that they have, that seems to be dominant. And obviously the captain needs to make sure that he keeps his head up and his bind and his spine in line. And obviously not move away from his hook and his support, because that's going to be key for the next scrum. Look at that. And basically it was held up from minute 1. I don't understand if he actually considered a knock-on or lost. But depending when he wanted to turn, that's when he lost it.
Now that ball was actually never got close to dotting it down. It's just some really good defense there. Looks like Sergio Torrance, who got hand on the ball and got his body under the ball carrier. Look at the scrum from the Bulls.
Ooh, here we go.
They've shoved the men in blue back. And it's try time again, second of the match.
Yeah, and I told you as much. I mean, the kind of confidence that they picked up since the last scrum, it just went from strength to strength. And even when they hit and actually applied all the way to the left-hand side on the loose side of Narwana Grunlik, and actually angled and left basically the captain of the College Rovers on his own there, because he needed now to readjust. Look, he was left on the whole side, and they went through the hooker and they tightened and sort of pinned them down and went down the channel. It was actually tickets after that, and obviously it doesn't talking about fumbling. That was a clean fumbling where scrum half couldn't really handle that ball to the best.
Pressure for Gerardo Jars, the number 9 for Rovers, and his mistake lets in his opposite number, Jerome Bastic, for the second try of the day. Both of them going the way of the Naka Bulls, and it's Danny Mokwabane looking to add to the tally. Chance for 2 here, missed the first one. Flags will go up this time as the Naka Bulls stretch their lead. 2 tries, a conversion, 12-0.
Yeah, certainly agree. I mean, this weather actually suits the kind of way that actually the Nakapala likes to play. They like a physical game, they like a slow game. So there's nothing fancy about this weather. So it's done up the stream. I suppose the backs, I mean, if you can see their centers as well, they're more with the forwards than they actually with the backs.
Inikadebe going middle of the park this time. It's the try scorer Bastic who looks to put in a return, but only gets it as far as the halfway line. A chance here to attack for Rovers. They're looking to put it in the pocket, and it skips along. Fantastic in these conditions.
That's another way of getting territory. Technically, you need to actually find the spots, and now you can't do those long, high ones because you don't want to go direct, and how they actually throw them. And I mean, spectators enjoying that moment. You know, there's what you call true fans of rugby. Rain or hail, these guys will come show up and support their friends and their teams.
Daar's 'n manier waar hy manne by die vandag by die huis sou sit nie. En met van hulle spanmaats op klipvlak. Den skou hier by Harlequins tuisveld in Pretoria nie. Lyn staan nou vir die bulle, moet nou 'n bietjie skoon maak hier. Sadie Tobias wat sy springer weer vind. Bietjie entoesiasties, hulle wil hom hardloop uit 'n posisie van swakheid uit.
Ja, ek dink hulle soek net 'n beter engel vir die skopper om 'n groter erf bietjie te sny. Want as hy net is bietjie dun, beteken hy gaan net 'n bietjie staan daar kry, so as hulle 'n bietjie weer maak en die engel bietjie groter maak, dit maak net sin. Dis hoekom hy so 'n baie afstand gekry van hy skopper.
'n makliker hoek vir Daniel Kobane om hy van bal af te skop, of bal liewer veld op te skop. Maar hy voel sy man vind hier. Hulle is nog steeds in 'n goeie posisie. Bietjie gesukkel met die lyn staande, weer eens nie skoon nie. En nou kom die bulle oor die bal. Hy is geslaan en hy kontak.
He's not happy. He's certainly not happy. He's on his way to get on the right-hand side. Sibulele, he's like, hey man, I'm flying over my own track. What happened? So clearly they were trying to clean out everything in their way. And Nakapala realizing that they actually, remember in this wet weather, tactically in defense, you've got an advantage as long as you can get hold of your tackle. If you keep him up and everyone come piling their weight and their power, you always see offensively, automatically, and hence that situation, you wanted to get to his rack. They were sort of helping him, let's get you there quicker. But how you get there is going to be a different story. But let's look at this scrum again. Nice setting. You see grinding nice. He sees left his opposition. He's gone straight for the hooker. That's why they got a scrum again. They found a way to actually separate the front row and leave the captain isolated on his own. He needs to make sure now to avoid that. Tuck in under the hooker and direct his men.
As hy pak so begin 'n high five in mekaar, Lawrence se paka, hier kom 'n groot ding waar jy kan speel om jou sterkpunt te beklemtoon. Jy kan rondom jou scrum speel. In hierdie tipe weer is dit amper onverwendbaar vir die oppositie om die scrums te vermy.
Nee, definitief. Hulle gaan ook nie moeg raak nie, man. Vandag beteken hulle doen wat hulle lief is en wen elke keer. So elke scrum gaan hulle met 'n smile en gaan hulle lippe lek en sê, "Nou gaan ons weer papa." So the visitors must find a way. But like I said, there is a way if they can find it. As you can look at that setup, Ngube leaves his opponent, goes in an angle. The captain needs to get to the ref, said ref, the tightest of the Nakabala is cramming in. Hence, I can't actually stay in. But his issue now, he needs to do the same. Go closer to his hooker.
Losgemaak sit nie te baie is, maar bietjie van 'n gaping sien, hy kom nie daardeur nie, maar weer eens word die Nakabala beloon deur die skeieregter.
Ja, hulle nommers is bietjie verkeerd, man. Julle het bietjie meer nommers of minder nommers gehad in die scrum. Ons moet bietjie tel van die lengstand begin en dis die voordeel in eerste plek. So Tobias kon eintlik 'n kans vat daar en daai kans was gevat. Die mense gehad om te skoon te maak, hè. Dus kom hulle daai raak eintlik verloor.
En as die man van der Byl Park, 3 vir Rovers, Martinus Volker wat fouteer het daar. Net so terloop sy 2-jarige dogter Anika, wat op die televisie kyk vandag. Nie worry nie, papa sal beter doen. Ek kan sien wat die weer doen aan die manne hier. Is die haker weer eens van Nakabille. Sit nie Tobias. So ver, fantasties. 100% rekord met die lyn staan en weer eens so. Nou kom die dryf vir sport maklik. Hulle het eintlik al oor hulle 8ste man gehardloop waar JP Alberts. Het bietjie in die pad gewees vir sy eie spanmaats, maar kyk hoe fantasties kom hulle nou hier in die middel van die park deur. Bastik wat aangee na Brendan Swart. Hy soek aksie. Hy wil 'n bydra lewer. Nou kom die voorspelers om. Hulle is baie na aan die doellyn. Maar dit was dan vorentoe van die been van die 8ste man af.
Ja, nou hoor hulle wel ook die ver speel van die forwards af. As jy mooi kyk, hulle het een fase links en toe kom hulle terug tot die regtervleuel gerealiseer en hy is my kant, ek hoef nie links te gaan nie. Kom in die aksie met 'n 8ste man was 'n textbook tackle. Waar hy eintlik net die enkels met mekaar klap en vlieg die man af en toe hy land, toe sy bal hom meer slordig en toe gly vorentoe en over sy knock-on en dan het hulle kans, maar die probleem is en die scrum is nog 'n probleem. Dis hoekom as die groot man hy het op die grond bietjie net seker maak, ek kry sy energie, maar is lekker vir 'n bietjie en groot pyn is daar so, meneer Volker.
Ja, dan nie kan nie worry nie. Papa sal die behandeling kry wat hy nodig het. Ons het nou net aan hy vorige bietjie aksie gesien, die goeie verdediging van Duran Kramek, soos ek sê, 26 jaar oud, 'n man wat reeds vir die Ierlandse nasionale man 7 span gespeel het. So jy verwag dat hy veelsidig sal wees, nie net op aanval nie, maar ook op verdediging en daar het jy dit gesien.
Actually, if you think about it, sevens is actually what you call it, the basic, the little things that we take for granted sometimes. You look at this player who's been at sevens level, they know how to make a telling tackle. It's either the hard way or the technical right way to stop a person from going forward. That's how you stop a big man.
Kom ons kyk wat Rovers hier kan doen met besit van hulle eie scrum. Hulle voer Gerardo Jars. Hy's op die agterbene hier, maar hy stort weer eens in mekaar. En hierdie keer blaas die skeieregter teen Nakabille. Wat het hulle daar verkeerd gedoen, Lawrence?
Ek sal like om te weet, want hy het niks gesê en as 'n rede hoekom hulle daar afgegaan het. 10-1, want as ons 'n bietjie die angle gesien het, as hy die band, miskien die loskop het sy band verloor en veroorsaak, laat die meneer Volker aan die regterkant bietjie afgaan, of die vaskop het afgegaan, jy sien, dat is 'n groot ek dink die loskop bietjie sy band verloor. Want as hy nie sy band verloor het, dan beteken mos either dis come reset vir gly or bietjie hinging ook in die proses.
But it's got to be really difficult because they scrumming this Rovers side inwards automatically. So it's difficult to hold on to that bind, isn't it?
No, it is difficult, but that's why you've got a way. You need to grip properly. If it does fall, you must fall with the man down on you. As Nakabala still the line out that they got from that penalty.
Stolen for the umpteenth time today. Tobias with a little step inside. He's still looking to go. He's looking for the contact. He's loving this. Driving the side forward. He's got the support there from the 8th man. Basti comes through on the outside and a big bump off. Therefore, Sriman Mube. Just a little bit sloppy once more. And Rovers turn this into a possession up in the opposition half for a change, because they've been camped in their own for the last 10.
Yeah, I think the Shane Ball needs to get another round ball to help him with his foot, able to control the ball that's rolling on the ground, because all he needed there was to hack that one down the field. He probably would have won the race, because the Naka Bala actually were far from action. I mean, the left wing was still that side when that ball was lost, and it was kicked through, and then obviously that position was lost. The minute he kicked it to the side and shanked it to the field, I mean, Tobias has got another chance of actually getting it back in. I mean, his lines have been good. I mean, he's also bulked up a bit since the last time we saw him. I mean, he's trimmed up. Suppose the world of professionalism does do things to him.
I'm surprised by the bulk that he's carrying here. Let's hope that it's all good protein, good muscle. What a tackle that is! Is that the big man who's earned a little bit earlier? Is that Martinez Volker with that massive tackle?
No, I think the ref is now unhappy with something.
Hello. Let's have a look at this again. Taken into contact there by Echard Boshoff.
Textbook stuff. Oh.
Dead in his tracks by Martinez Volker.
Yeah, I think the yellow card is for tackling someone after the whistle. That's dangerous. But remember the play, I mean, the scrum was not even ready. That could actually hit him badly. Depending who hits you, it could end badly. I mean, the center was guilty there for being over-eager. Maybe too much aggro. Yeah. Time to do what the forwards can do. I mean, that was a beautiful hit there, straight front on. And actually on the ball as well, that was beautiful. That was like, man, that's why the ball actually can't stick with that pressure.
Yellow card there for Sergio Torrens. He'll go set out for a bit the outside centre. So 10 minutes for him in the sin bin.
And then obviously one having a jet there, I mean, that's also probably a worse place for him to be. And then actually the one where if you picked it up, the name is running away from me, but I'll come back to that conversation. And you're picking it up, and he's got like
sitting right in front of his coach.
No. It's actually a former Springbok right behind him. Prop. Remember that tight we used to be quick from the Bulls as well. Benz is his surname.
Good old Richard Banks. He's going to talk his ear off now.
No, I'm telling you now, that's why he's smiling so much, because his team is doing so well right now. He's all smiles right there at the back, and I don't know, he's probably not even getting cold. And for a back to be sitting there, and I would not check it. My man, that 10 minutes is going to be very long.
Right, let it be. So we've had a change now in the throwing duties, and I'm not surprised here. It's number 16, Jason Alexander, who's come onto the field as replacement hooker, because it's been an area of concern for them in this first half. Can he do better? Goes to the front, and that was a weird throw, nearly stripped again. Taken up the field there by Daniel Bowoto, the man from Lagos, Nigeria. Inikhadebe looking for a massive touch find. Has got good contact on it, but doesn't find the sideline. So now carried up the park, and some nice feet there. Really good feet from Marcel Himan. It's out quickly over the top. Little box kick there by Mabukwane, but I'm afraid has that gone directly out.
Yeah, no, that technical kick pass, they call it, was just overcooked there from the talisman and number 10, Denny Makobane. They actually wanted to find his right winger, and his right winger is not happy. I don't know, he's not happy with a lot of things because he's been crumbling. Look at it. It's perfect, but it needed to be just shot a little bit less and less oomph. And that thing would have actually fell in his hand, and it would have been a one-on-one situation.
And we can say with authority that the weather had nothing to do with that kick. That was just overcooked. There was no slip in the process either. So now, Jason Alexander, can he do better? He's gone right to the back, but the throw is terrible again, and it's a strip away. Bastic has it. Passes it out wide. Himan on the ball. Lovely little inside pass. The Bulls still have it here. What a turn he's made that man fall over his own feet there with Shane Bell's little step inside and kick for touch.
I think both of us sent the wrong direction there because he was really keen to make a tackle and a change of direction. He couldn't pull his own feet. It's like ABS fell completely to work. I mean, these guys, obviously, coaches desponded a bit because nothing is working. I mean, you cannot walk without the ball. The scrum has been a hassle. Now the lineout's actually not sticking. I mean, you think about it, it's a good throw, but they need to find each other. It's a complicated situation. It's a Udo.
Lineouts have been chalk and cheese, and here we got the drive again. Tobias at the back of this mass of yellow bodies. Edging towards the try line. Now they use it. Bastic lets it loose there for Stefan Vermeulen. Man over it for Rovers. Looks like Sipolelo Nonto rather. It comes out on the side of Naka Bulls. Bastic on it. Tobias looking to carry. He's made a couple of meters in this first half already. Stopped dead in his tracks. This time Makwabane with a skip pass out wide. And this man who's been wanting the action all afternoon long, Brendan Swart, gets over. Finally a ball in the right area. He takes it well and gets over the try line. Try time. Third time in the first half for the Naka Bulls.
No, I certainly agree. I mean, this man, he had so much land to just slide in as well, but he likes the physical stuff. He wanted to take some scalps with him on the way to the try line. Beautiful try, but the danger of that, though, you get it wrong, and the guy just targets your ball. You go dive and you're on, the ball goes a different direction. But like I said, that man, Brendan Swart, just got a lovely try. I'm sure now he'll complain less in the guard if the ball is coming or not, because he take opportunity that they send it to him.
Yeah, a man who was born in Boksburg, went to Echia Janssen High School, under-20 Currie Cup player for the Falcons back in the day. And was also part of the 2017 Griffin side. Won the First Division Currie Cup, if you'll remember that back in the day. Oh, it wasn't that far away. Danny Makwabane with a chance to add two more.
Now,
Kick, difficult conditions.
And obviously, I said the spot that he's got a ball as well, he needs to check his anchoring leg. If those studs are not sticking, he might slide right next to his ball.
There's a little bit of a slide there, actually, as you can see. It just pushed the ball wide to the right. So the conversion doesn't count. But a healthy lead here for the Naka Bulls as we see how the try was scored. Lovely skip pass by Makwabane, and that set up the space and the overlap for the man Brendan Swart to go over for Naka Bulls' third try. Still had some work to do, but did it with aplomb.
No, certainly he had an overlap. That was just scrambling defense coming across. The header overlap. He was actually chilling there on his own. And the decision to take that long skip as well, actually to save time for the ball go through hands. Sometimes it might not get as clean as it did now. It was a great opportunity. Let's see if he can exit. He doesn't like to kick, so give it to the man who does it for a living.
Lovely kick up the field there by the vice captain. In fact, now it was fullback Yuan Nal. This has been an action-packed first half. I am surprised when we look at the prowess of this pack of forwards of College Rovers that they just have not been able to engage on the same level with the Bulls. They've been dominated in this first half. But the other facet of the game that the coach will have to look at in earnest in the second half, he's made a change at hooker already. And that, to be honest with you, is about the cleanest possession that Rovers have had from a line-out in this half.
No,
that's not saying much.
No, that can't be clean, man. What about the little scrum off? Now he has to shovel whatever's coming, and the way he did it could have been a simple intercept. If the Nakabala, the Lucy's at the back of the lineup were awake, could have actually run into that ball as it came, because you can see once it leaves the head, it's all, free for all. But I suppose they don't complain much. They're getting a scrum. Their scrum has been dominant. Ngube has been running the show on this side. As you can see, the captain is changing his angle. He's slightly tucked in with the hooker now. Let's hope this is going to make a difference. Obviously, there's a suspension in the middle here. That inside leg needs to be more on a running style, so he's allowing more room to go low as possible. He needs to count under Ngube. Ngube is shorter. He's taller. So he needs to work harder now to get that spine in line. That is much better now. He needs to work hard to stabilize.
I love having a scrum doctor with me in studio. Bastic with an errant throw because he was wrapped up there as he tried to pass that.
And then Akabala actually very smart. I mean, they realize that these guys cannot handle their scrum. And obviously, why not use the best power that you have on the field today? And every opportunity you can get a penalty, get it, kick it down the line. get it, kick it down the line. And when you get closer to the line, our lineups are functional. I mean, everything should be working to the T. Look, they're going to get a lineup right on the 22. From there, they're getting then out, set up a drive again, 10-1. Then they're going to get a penalty from ill discipline for College Rovers guys. 1 or 2 who's going to attempt to sack or come from the side. With weather like this, sometimes even sliding happens by default, just an accident, because you just know where to push against. Everyone is wet, the ball is slippery, the jerseys are slippery.
It's the World Sports Betting Club Rugby Festival over the Easter period here, and it's no understatement to say that we've got the finest club rugby teams from around South Africa. The men in yellow here, a little bit faded in the first half, and Sydney Tobias losing the ball. But the men in yellow are the current holders of the Carlton Cup up in Pretoria. It's such a fantastic opportunity to see how teams from the various regions of South Africa compete against one another. At the moment, the men from Pretoria, the Naka Bulls, they lead 17-0 over College Rovers. And the man who was born in Nigeria, Daniel Bowoto, not happy there with the referee.
No, they feel like that was unfair because, I mean, why would a Nakabala throw the ball back on the half? Not common sense. No, I think the ball got into some of the blue jerseys' feet and he's tried to kick it. I mean, Tobias could not be happier because he's just fumbled that line out himself, and then there's a rare mistake from a well-oiled machine that had been operating. Good sacking from the visiting team, but clearly not good enough as they got out of that mess in a way, one or the other.
Energy levels of 8th man JP Alberts has been on another level here in this game. He's been popping up just about everywhere. Iman Boerdestein this time looking to stump cut his way through the blue defensive line. Available again, driven back this time, but bit of a counter of their own here. Naka Bulls. Makwabane with a skip pass again, well taken. Exceptional hands there by the first try scorer of the match, Charles Goodals. Keeps it alive here for Naka Bulls. They're lining up once more. Number 7, Iman Boerdestein once again, the battering ram. Good work by the flanker. Now the bigger men from the front row will join the party. It's been really good continuity, very good ball retention in very trying conditions. And now a gap opens up. The man with the cleanest jersey on the park, Yuan now, suddenly found himself in acres of space. Deputizes now as scrum off to Mokwabane for the drop kick. A little bit of innovation, and how do you like that? Out of nowhere.
The man with the cleanest jersey, he decided, listen, I wasn't able to get through. Let me try another role. Let me try the scrum half role. At least now he can claim that he was also playing a rugby match because his jersey will be slightly muddier. And obviously realizing they're not going anywhere, the College Rovers defense is actually manned up. They decided, listen, we're here. Let's get anything 3, 5, or 7, which at this point they got.
End of the first half. Makwabane's found his range. He's slotted over a couple of conversions and that drop kick as he stood in the pocket late in that first half. Excellent little pass there. It was, in fact, a pass from Marcel Himman, the left winger. But at the end of 40 minutes, it's the dominance of Pretoria over the men from Durban. Naka Bulls lead the College Rovers 20-zip after the first 43 tries to 0 here in the first match of the WSB Easter Club Rugby Festival from the home of Harlequins in the nation's capital. Welcome back, second half time here in what has been a magnificent match at the home of Harlequins in Pretoria. It's the men from the capital playing from right to left in yellow. The Naka Bulls, who lead the men from Durban. College Rovers 20-0 after an impressive battle up front that has been dominated by the men from Pretoria. Exit play there by Rovers. They've made a couple of changes already after a hapless Lawrence Epaka first half.
So I agree with you. I mean, it's very important now that actually they probably one team that needed could change a lot of things is the College Rovers, and the Nakabala guys is like, guys, it's working. Keep on doing it until they really challenge us. I see obviously Nico Duplessis, pardon, Daniel Stokes have come on. I mean, player 22 Simunya Nyoka has come on to actually add some weight into that fray, but it's not going to help if the forwards are not bringing their weight or their bacon to the party as well, because at this point in time, that's where the confidence is coming from. The Nakabala's confidence is coming from that area, and their confidence is taken away from that area.
It's just been a marauding yellow mass, and now looking to join the line at some pace is Goedals. But that man in the number 4 jersey, Marco Palvi, in the right place at the right time.
No, I'm telling you, this man has been taking scalps. He's not the first casualty that has come to that shoulder, and he's been slaughtering them, and they have to think twice next time they run into that channel. I suppose the grasses actually have done the job for him. Luckily, he didn't lose too much height that they actually end up in a very dangerous position in the shoulder head injury.
Well, I'll tell you what, his teammate, the hooker, Marley Ford, has a nickname of the Butcher. Not sure what Marco Palvi's nickname is, but it's damn near something close to that, it has to be. So change at scrum off for Rovers. Gerardo Jars, replaced here by Sinovuyo Nyoka, was a late replacement in the squad, by the way, after the side arrived yesterday. A little bit messy once more, and it's Naka Bulls' ball. It's the kind of territory they want to be in. It's the kind of position that they've been dominating, because there's bound to be a scrum ensuing from this. No, skipper says, you look for that corner.
Yeah, no, why would you change the working remedy? Get as much as you can take in this thing until they start challenging us, until they start actually matching up. At this point, they're not matching up the draft, they're not matching up the scrums. They're probably area that's open. I mean, the Lucies are probably frustrated. Nonto, Zwane, and Mwango are really pedaling backwards, and they have to handle balls. Look at that scrum, it's backpedaling at 100 miles an hour. Number 8 has to do magic, even do a double roll, handoff in the process, try to buy time for some reinforcements, which is not happening. Obviously here with a shorter line after that, the Nakabala gonna go with.
Finds his man with the plum, and how impressive as the throwing in from the line out's been, and it's a try. So simple, so easy. Good throw up front, possession on the blind. And it's that man, Primo Ngube, finds his way over the try line.
Certainly primo decision, primo execution, because that's the most difficult thing to do. I mean, you don't want to be too flash with weather like this. Look at this. He had to leap over guys, go through the reserve hooker, and actually go get that try. This is a man who's actually living it up at the moment. His scrums are going well. His confidence is oozing. So what else? We probably might as well strike scoring tries.
Still had to step on the outside and take 3 men over the line with him. That was fantastic.
Yeah, now, like I said, it's not an easy thing to do with a wet ball like that, to do a fancy move like that. And obviously they're trying new things as well, regardless of the conditions. For them to work in this condition, what would they do in a drier condition?
Prima Ngube, born in Bulawayo, student of Cornwall Hill College. Spent time at Tuks as well. Kobane with clearly a clean jersey, with a backup jersey. And why not after that drop kick to end the first half? Looking for 2 more here. Does it curl in? Just not enough. 2 points gone a begging.
That's what you call a general. He's directing the show. He's not getting in the mix of things. He's just sending people to the right places, and he does what he needs to do. The only thing that's probably dirty is his pink boots. And the only ones have been doing most of the job, and he's been doing very well. I mean, this man has been taken off, but does that mean the scrum is going to improve? Because it's not a problem. The whole pack is actually under siege. Taking 1 man up, I hope the next one is going to really make a difference.
Captain Jared Crouch spoke before the game about them wanting to dedicate this match to the flood victims in KZN. I'm afraid they've struggled here this afternoon. Let's dedicate this entire tournament, this entire experience, to every person who's lost a home, who's lost a loved one in the floods in KZN. Just ahead of this Easter weekend. So, scrappy play from Rovers once more.
I mean, Udo, we've been busy for 45 minutes. It's very rare that you see front rowers and props and hookers having a smile, full smile in a game like this. I mean, these guys should be tired at this point. That's how much confidence they're getting from actually enjoying what they're doing. And when it's working, there's no time for people to get tired. That's exactly the example. And look at the opposite direction and how those other guys are feeling. Despondent, nothing is working. Look at this, a simple catch.
Foot race between Masuli Mwango and his opposite number. It was Mwango who just knocked that one on. What do you think they're going to do with this line-out, Lawrence Apaka? No prizes.
A short line-out is going to be a question. Is it the front, middle or back? It's in the middle. And let's go for a drive.
It's as if that ball is bone dry. That's how good the control by the hook has been. Sydney Tobias. He peels off now. Takes 3 defenders with him. Edging closer towards the try line. Bastic with a short little pass to... What a knockoff that was. To Ruan Grundling, the captain. He carries it up a meter or so. They've controlled the ball so well. They've taken it through the phases in near difficult, impossible conditions, but stripped away this time by Rovers. The referee is right there. Perfect vantage point. Up the field now by Ruben van Blerk. He gets a good skip and a bounce, but he won't get it outfield winner. Yes, he did indeed.
That's the kind of stuff normally you'll see in Europe, where they actually allow a bit of contest on the ground. When there's a player over a player like that on the ground, it's considered a ruck. But in this instance, the referee actually allowed him to go in secondary and steal that ball. I mean, the reserve scrum half came in there and actually took the ball, turned it over for the team. Exactly what a good time for them to get. I mean, it's been a while. They've been pushed back every time they're back over the halfway line. But the ball is still in the team in yellow. What do you call it? What color yellow is that?
Canary yellow.
Oh, canary yellow, that one.
Camo
yes.
yellow. If you look at the technique. And they've been in a battle, and they've ruled the roost here this afternoon. To the back, clean possession once more. Made available beautifully there by Himan Boerdestein. Oh, what a step that is. Inside, outside. There was an errant foot there. Referee not seeing it.
I don't understand.
Rather fortunate for Rovers there.
I don't understand how you didn't see it. It was right actually in line. That player is not rolling away. He's the one who caused the ball to come out the way he did. But suppose now he's going to give that penalty very easily, making up for that one that he missed.
Just no support anywhere near that loose forward who went down there. Now carried by the try scorer in the first half, Brendan Swart. Driven back, but still Nakabull's ball. Plastic there to Juan van der Versteysen.
I think I'm sorry there, but that's a wrong call to make. There was a tackling player that was running in line of that ball to actually be emerging. And for a player to come in allowed to steal that ball, it's actually wrong. First player that needs to roll out is the attacking player who needs to get out of the way so the ball can be exposed. Unfortunately, he missed it. I think it's the second time that he missed it. I thought that one was just a mere mistake, but I don't think he's counting those one to effect.
Looks like Ruben van Blerk, the fullback for Rovers, has added the jersey change as well. Clean as a whistle. Lovely carry here now by Rovers. Can they get something going? Stopped it in his tracks. Nyoka. Lovely little give by Mesuli Mwango. And now this looks promising. Shane Ball on the ball there. Nyoka gets it going very quickly. Lovely little pass inside by Inikhadebe. But I'm afraid the man who was sat out for 10 minutes in the first half, Sergio Torrens, just could not hold on to it. Perhaps the sin bin was playing on his mind there.
And all he had to do was hold on to the ball. There was no defender. Inikadebe was already done the job. And he realized what a mistake he's made. Look at this. He takes on the line. Nice and flat. Commit 2 players. And look, no one in front of him.
In the basket and out.
He'll never get an easier try in his life.
He's
And I
dropped
suppose
the Easter egg over Easter weekend, I'm afraid.
I know this one was certainly needed to be caught and to get that egg actually scrambled at this point in time, since they'll still be hammering that egg maybe into something special later on.
It looked so promising. I just wonder your thoughts here on Nyoka coming onto the field and just the line speed that they seem to have now on attack.
No, it makes a difference as well. A combination 9 and 10 is actually key. Even Inikadebe, the minute you could run that ball that flat, it's very important. But this is for me sensing in trouble. Replacement player, player 20. Remember, player 23 is a number 18 actually, the reserve prop, which actually stabilized enough. I think the scrum collapsed, but at least that gives them still room to maneuver to get out of the 22.
Roger Zondi, CZ Zondi coming onto the field just to bolster the front row. Sexy little play here. Pity about the whistle. I'd love to have seen how that would have ended. Juan now in possession, and now we'll have another yellow card. Second of the match.
Yeah, and I think this was basically ill discipline, a bit of bad chat. I think they were giving the ref a bit of 2 cents of their opinion, and he didn't have it. I mean, you've got a ball, you're going forward. That's just bad ill discipline from the big man, Stefan Vermeulen, and unnecessary disrupting the movement that they were having as a whole team.
Nearly a case of mistaken identity there, because it was the vice captain, Johan Grobler, who said, "Who, me?" And as we saw there, it's Stefan Vermeulen who eventually had to go off. Now, attacking the line once more. The best position they've had on attack all game for Rovers. They need clean possession behind this ruck. They seemingly will get it. Yeah, still their possession. In fact, once again, it's that spot where the try line just completely disappears. College Rovers seem to have gone over here. It was in fact Johan van der Westhuizen who gets to sit out for 10 minutes, but in the process, we've had the first score of the match for Rovers. Still battling from a long way back, but at least they've got a 5-pointer and a conversion. Rounded off there by Inikadebe. Let's just have a look at the try here again. It's that man, their best player in the first half. Marco Palvi seems to have gone all the way. Got it down. Referee was in a good position.
Hey, with all those palo bodies, is it a number 4 lock or is it someone else got a try?
Well, we'll get word from a man on the field in a bit, but it looked like Marco Palvi had made the run over the try line and dotted down there. But we'll get confirmation for you. Lovely clean take here by Rovers. Just the start of the second half that they needed.
Yeah, unfortunately, that also not gone wasted. I mean, the new player came in, collected nicely, not controlled the drag time. Ref felt like they were actually sealing the ball and gave it back to Nakabala. Nakabala needs to go back to the drawing board, go back to what's working for them now. They've got one less man. Is that going to be affected in terms of how they control their scrum and the draft? Obviously, it doesn't jump in the lineout. They use a bit lighter guys to pick up and obviously get the lineouts. He's more the battering ram in the open run when they're actually running up the ball. And obviously, the lineout that's going to come is a short lineout. It's a 5 for 4. At this point, it seems like a 5+1. Which tend to mean that when they've got a flank outside or forward, they're definitely going to drive. I don't think that guy's going to pass.
That man in the high visibility jacket has been one of the most important figures on the field. He's kept the ball dry at line out time. It's allowed an exceptional hooker with a really good talent of finding his man in the line out. Certainly Tobias to do what he does best. And now it's available there. Carry once more. Bastic to Tobias. He's got 4 men on him. Just needs to roll over on the right side and make it available, which he does. That defensive line, did they jump too quickly? Referee says knock on.
No, they were playing under advantage. They've lost that one forward, but from the line out, the thing that fancied what you call shift drive, they call it. And then obviously that happened. After that, the guys were offside. And then, I mean, look at the same man that collapsed the mall. Is the one that actually just playing hands in the ground again. That is a secondary penalty. The first penalty happened here from the drive that they got. And they're going to go again. It's been working for them in the first half. I think now they were trying new things. They need to simplify it again if they want to push the scoreboard, unless they're happy with how they're operating at the moment.
Well, I say 15 minutes into the second half here, what we haven't seen is a composed Bull side as we saw in the first half. Naka Bulls pretty much in charge of every facet of the game across the first 40. And the lineups have still been good. They've just been unsettled a little bit by what Rovers have done at the start of this second half at least. So we'll see another change here for them. Looks like that man Daniel Bawota comes off.
Yeah, probably the fresh legs is very crucial here. See if these guys are going to make a difference. It's very important. Your bench is supposed to supplement and inject some energy into the team. And then the fresh legs, I think they've got a height in the lineup as well. That could be key. But then if not going up with all that height, it means nothing as well.
Now the drive ensues. It's been predictable. You can telegraph. It's been telegraphed, but still very difficult to defend against. Much better this time by Rovers. Shoved back, ball in the hands there of Edhard Boshoff, and it's lost, I'm afraid. Turnover.
Yeah, and that Mr. Rev is deeming that as a knock-on, but I think the replacement there, Mr. Stembi Somhlongo, with his whole tall timber scenario, you can see the hustling and actually trying to battle and obviously pulling and dragging as much as he could, and over that disrupted the flow because the scrum half was not looking where the ball was when he was about to say Kobastic, and he actually lost contact with the ball as well because there was the other foreign hands in the mix that they didn't need, and it was very key to protect the ball in the process. But that being said, pressure scrum, we know how dominant they were in the first half. Do they actually keep on going? Or do the new guys actually step it up a little bit? Nice setup. Now using all that 140 kilograms to drop it down backwards, that usually should be considered a penalty. But the referee is happy to let it go and let the boys play.
Which Rovers are doing now. Possession in the middle of the park. Enichadebe with it. Just a little bit of a hospital pass there, but how well did that man do to get it away? Now Sergio Torrens carries it upfield. And Nyoka, scrum half has come on. Substitute has made an immediate impact. They are flaying this ball from one side to the other. Lovely little step on the inside by the replacement hooker now. What a fantastic carry that was by Nsika Fisanti.
After he took a ball that was supposed to be a pass behind his back earlier, which he managed to control under circumstances. But I suppose now at this stage, probably fatigue playing a role as well. I mean, a simpler pass, he decides to drop cold, which doesn't make sense. I mean, we've got a flyer like Inichadebe, who's a distributor of note with some quality. Look how he's putting people in space. And look at this. I mean, obviously, with this bit of a switch as well. I mean, now look how beautiful that switch is. Not only did he take a good switch, but he's showing a bit of a good step, and obviously a bit of step as well. That was well done. He took out about 4 guys with all in one move. Look at this pass. Nice breadbasket situation. But I think he was just not ready to handle it. You know, it's very difficult, I mean, at this stage. I mean, that ball didn't hit the ground. I mean, if he can pass it like that, I'm sure he can catch it.
We've seen too many eggs dropped over the Easter weekend today. But understandable in these conditions. You can actually hear the rain. Bastic with a mistake, and Rovers will capitalize. Now, Naka Bulls have to just be a little bit careful because they look a bit weary. They look a bit tired, and they put plenty in physically in that first half. Are they beginning to tire and allowing more opportunities here for Rovers?
Yeah, you can see the standard of scrummaging has lowered as well. I think this team is still good enough to actually continue scrumming, but I think the replacements need to come in. I mean, the tight end has been replaced. Maybe Ngube was such an X factor in that whole setup that now when he's gone, technique-wise, the thing is not the same. And the other guy who's come on, replacement, is JC Conradi. He's not probably as good. He's a bigger man, but the problem comes down to technique, how to use it. The hips are dropping nicely, but the thing is, the scrumming upwards, that is actually good as well at this point in time. Look at Inni handling that situation.
Ruben van Blerk with a kick through. His opposite number. Juan Nal just bumping his man off, and now a little bit of aggression. We'll have some handbags there now. That simply is not allowed. It's Juan Nal not happy with the treatment there from number 17, Jonathan Dayton.
I don't understand why he's not happy, man. It was an attempted tackle and left, but you realize the whistle went. He actually assisted him to go down. It's just a little bit unnecessary frustration from Nell. That is really not required. Maybe he's not happy because he didn't beat him cleanly. That is a clean tackle, nothing wrong. It's a bit of a left, which is illegal. But what it does, he actually handles it, put him down safely. Now for him to retaliate, like a lot of referees will then turn the thing around and say, listen, the whistle is gone. He stopped moving. Why are you not stopping?
Yeah, certainly Dayton didn't turn him through the perpendicular.
But I think what's important there, when you do that and you realize your mistake, but correct it as well. And the big man coming back, I mean, I suppose on his absence, 7 points was caused. Probably that's the only deficit he caused while he was away having a coffee break. I don't know if it was a tea, was it maybe special water. But he certainly should be refreshed now. Needs to make up in terms of how he operates.
Delivery has been fantastic all afternoon, and he comes onto the field and makes an impact immediately, does Stefan Vermeulen. They are beside themselves, our Rovers, with that call.
No, because they're not used to it. Fanele as well. And remember, they did it a couple of times in the first half, and actually I was actually complaining about it. But the referee also worked in his game at halftime and actually has fixed that, because the first tackler needs to roll away. The big man Vermeulen say, hey, pass is full. And now this player needs to get away. Until he does, these two can really, I mean, even him, the one who's complaining, or Fanele here, he's probably the one instigator as well. The ref was looking at, the other one was rolled away and had to complain about it. It's actually blown that rule now to the T, which actually should be a delight for the men in what you call Camayello to go forward.
Canary. Net result is that Bulls have possession and the line out, about 7-8 meters away from the try line of College Rovers. They would be desperately looking just to return to what they did in the first half and turn secure ball from the line out throws of Sydney Tobias, which is there once again into a line out drive that has resulted in a couple of 5-pointers this afternoon. This is good control. They're coming in field now. Tobias with possession. He's got control of it. He's taken the entire defense with him. Here's a Rovers handover at Bastic with a cheeky little pass. Goodall's into contact now. He needs to roll the right way. Does so as well. Bastic has a look. Give and go to Tobias, but now the Bulls are being driven backwards here. Ball is available. Taken up here by Nico Duplessis. Penalty to Bulls. Tap and go. The referee says just slow your roll a little bit. He's going to have a word here.
At this point in time, I think there's been a couple of penalties in that same phase of play. I think that he might have picked up, so he needed to give them a word. I think the latest one, just the player not rolling around. I mean, Tobias Sydney's been involved in a lot of carries here. Well, one specific thing that you probably need to pick up what he does. He might not be the quickest man on the field, but he does get yardage when he gets the ball. The thing is, he protects his ball. He moves his feet a little bit, and obviously this was a attempted dummy, which didn't happen. And then obviously after that, thing, this big man needs to roll away immediately. Obviously, a lot of players tend to use him as well. To just create a bump so the ref can pick it up. I mean, he really couldn't roll away even if he wanted to because he was being pinned. As I was saying about Errol, he's protecting the ball. The ball is away from contact and it always comes out with the ball at drag time as well, which is very key. That ball needs to be actually managed.
Simply hasn't missed a jumper this afternoon. As Sydney Tobias, the son of the great Errol Tobias. It's had a sparkling game. It reflects in the scoreline, 25-7. But Naka Bulls, they haven't scored a single point in the second half.
Yeah, something they really want to change. It means is if the game of two halves, the second half so far belongs, in terms of scoreboard, belongs to the visitors, and then in territory, it's still their game.
Now, let me just correct that, because we just haven't seen them score with the regularity that they did in the first half. It was our man Priman Ngube, of course, who got a try early in the second half. But since that try to take it to 25-0, haven't added to the tally. College Rovers have since gotten themselves on the scoreboard with a try and a conversion. Lovely throw. Just looking to be too cute too quickly. And jersey 23, Nico du Plessis, more in aggravation at himself than anything for losing that ball. Goes after the Rovers player who was cleaning up there.
No, certainly said, listen, I'm going to take a scalp anyway because, I mean, that was my fumble, but you're not going to pick up the ball as well. Yeah, I mean, another scrum opportunity. I mean, there's not much of a right to work with. But if Mr. Tobias talks to the new man and the man who's slightly Nico du Plessis, who's kind of frustrated currently, he needs to make sure that he puts in a big hit here so they can put that scrum, the whole scrum, just on his back foot. I mean, obviously, that is coming but Channel 1 on nice pick up there because it was a pressure pass and the ankle foot straps and then obviously controlled. A better angle as well for the kicker, Inika Debe, which chooses the left side, means he's not going to... Oh! Woo! My goodness. Talking about switching off your lights. Esco, what's happening? His lights just went kaboom. Mionel, I'm not sorry, I beg your pardon, the fullback, Ruben van der Blerk. I mean, whoa. Whew. That was dangerous territory right there.
Net result, thankfully for him, and he was able to just make a mini recovery. Will be pressure on them with a scrum. So close to their try line. Knuckleballs feed.
Yeah, now basically now giving the ball to the team that's basically on attack and looking at this situation as well. A good scrum. We've got a nice blind that can work with depending what kind of shoulder they get. But I think Bastik will actually have to assess the situation. Play for a penalty. And then if they get that penalty, they're trying to scrum. 8-man shove, a scrum penalty that we're looking for. That should be a penalty to start with. Huh? I'm sure the scrum half was offside. He was past the midsection. And obviously not controlling the ball at the back there. Number 8 should be guilty. JB Alberts. And actually it was his duty to make sure that he controls the ball at the back. And then unfortunately, all that effort that they put in the scrum has gone to waste. But they could just turn things around and just have a positive impact and trying to have a defensive mindset that's going to be very on attacking mode. They need to attack this replacement. Propos just come on the right hand side in Roger Zondi, which is actually been much better in terms of anchoring, stabilizing so that they can get at least a channel 1. The scrum is still under pressure, but here is going to be key because I'm sure they want to rectify the mess they just made with that scrum. That should have been a penalty scrum that they would have get, or a scrum penalty that would have actually worked. I mean, that's a nice zone. 5 meters they would have done. They were out just picking up the ball and dropping, ended up knocking it.
Nyoka with a feed. Out very quickly because they know what's coming. Massive shove from the Bulls. They get it on the blind. Lovely kick. Can he gather? It's available to him. A little bit of football skills here. Still going. How fortunate was that bounce? Oh, and he misses it completely. Oh, my goodness.
How do you do that after all that work?
Besides himself. And you understand why. What an opportunity that was, that I'm afraid has gone begging. Durant Kromek pops up on the blind. Have a look at this kick here. Lovely. Shows his World 7 Series skills still available to him. One boot, lucky bounce, second boot. All he has to do is drop that frame on the ball, put weight on it. But eventually looked like a man who was freestyle swimming on this wet outfield.
No, and I think that rugby ball was very devious there because he felt it was stopping and he decided to dive, but he dived with one hand. But if he used both, he might have got the other one there. The man who did everything right, from the exploiting the blind that was not utilized and chasing down, even did the soccer skill thing with two legs, right and left. And unfortunately, the hands was not as lucky as it was his feet with his feet. Unfortunate, man. That was definitely a try that he probably deserved just for his efforts.
Yeah, it's raining even harder here now at Harlequin's home ground. Some good handling in spite of the weather. I'm afraid Rovers desperately needed that score. Given the scoreline, 25-7 the score. They're down. What a difference a 7-pointer could have made there.
I think reserve scrum half is not happy with what just happened. I think there was a bit of interference on the ground when he picked up the ball. He tries to play. But, he's his own man. Why is he upset with everybody else?
Sergio Torrens, I'm afraid, accidentally offside there. If he looked at the color of the jersey, he would have realized it's his own teammate.
But I suppose as well, if he was trying to pick and go, he must do it properly. But he decided to pick and run when he realized he was in trouble, tried to pass. There was nobody to pass to.
Rare sight, another clean jersey. Jersey number 19, that of Nardus Erasmus, who's on the field now. Almost stands out like black and white TV stands out from color TV. Does the man from Pretoria, ex-Waterkloof High School student.
Yeah, and I think as well, people are enjoying the game. Is like former Bok ladies, Springbok ladies who are actually playing club and Bulls rugby at the moment. I think also might have a game today that they might be playing, enjoying a bit of rugby in the wet. And I suppose these gazebos are working overtime today. And they look all of a sudden a little bit smaller.
Hats off to all of you who've made your way to the nation's capital for what has been a lovely start to the World Sports Betting Easter Club Rugby Festival. Kicking off with the match between Naka Bulls, the home side here. Well, not their home ground, it's Harlequin's home ground, but very much home in Pretoria are the Naka Bulls against the men from Durban, who are in possession right now through Ruben van Blerk, their fullback. Don't know how he's kept his jersey so clean across this game. Nyoka with a lovely little feed to Inikhadebe. Looking for the sexy stuff. Sergio Torrens now finds the man on the outside. There's acres of space here. Pitter-patter of the feet in the wet outfield. And the substitute goes sliding there. Still available, but now knocked on, I'm afraid.
Yeah, you talk about a man with a clean jersey, just decided to go dive in and only swimming pool on the field. And I suppose we'll be feeling part of the team as well, because Ibahle then an opportunity that the two wingers were there the whole day, didn't get, and he gets, and it was a pair of heels, clearly not enough because he was covered by the fullback, and then reinforcements came in numbers, and unfortunately that ball was not secured, and then it just got dropped cold by the attacking players were supposed to be receiving, and for forwards to be in that position is very difficult.
Yeah, credit to Joanal, the fullback of Naka Bulls, who had to put his body on the line there with a tackle on Subahle. It looks like one of the most enterprising players of the match so far for Naka Bulls. The scrum off. Jerome Bastic off. He's had a great game. He's replaced now by Ruan Verveers from Helpmekaar School. Collapsed, and once again the men in blue are perplexed. They just have not been able to figure out what to do in the scrums today.
Yeah, no, stays in there. I mean, this man used to play flank as well for Eastern United, and obviously Hooker did work with him a bit. So he's completely made a transition now to prop. I think that he's lucky the ref was on the wrong side, because he's the first culprit who dropped his leg and collapsed the scrum. But obviously, when you're going forward, the referees tend to give the team that's going forward the advantage, considering that he was the one who was at fault. But I think the refs don't have special what you call it?
You may have seen something on his side of the scrum. Huh?
No. On that side, obviously, when you're going forward, the lucid will look to suspect to be going down, and you'll probably be in a hinging position. It's easier for him to pick as well. So that as a situation is complex.
Been impressed with the throws at line-out time. Not a single throw going errant here from Tobias. Kobani's had a good game as well. And now it's Swart. He's been full of energy, full of running all day long. Stampkar here in Pretoria. Immediately bench impact for the Bulls as well. Lovely little kick over the top there by Ruan Verveers. It's picked up by Kramek, the man who missed that try earlier. Now Pico Sobahle looking to wrestle himself free here. He's in a good position. Makes it available to Nyoka. What will he do with the ball? They just want to get it up the field. Inechadebe with a cute little kick. Will the bounce count in their favor? Cleaned up nicely by the Bulls lock. Here's again. It's time to another new man on the field. Nardus Erasmus. Kobane to the fullback who's joined the line. Still the Bulls with the ball. This is more like the first half that they had. Was there a knock in the process? Referee says no, play on. Now to Makwabane. It's now going across the hands in the back line, but knocked forward there. Now the substitute scrum off. And now an opportunity here for Kramek to make good on that previous missed try. The possession has been topsy-turvy, and now Swart, can he get away? Gets away from one defender. Oh, it was a lovely, lovely little break there by Brandon Swart.
That was actually a beautiful break. I mean, even had a good step into that mix as well. It was like he had numbers, reinforcements. I suppose the line, the 60th defender might have a say in that, because he thought he was in for all money, offloaded. The three players would have definitely scored the try. And obviously this game has just opened up as well. I mean, they've tried so many times to try to get Delemo Kobane's jersey dirty. Even in a tackle situation, he doesn't go down to the ground. He fights to stay on his feet and actually offloads. He's a very smart man, that one.
Well, we are in the province of the great Nasbota,
which is very possible to keep your jersey clean if he's got a 10 at the back. So you just need to know what to do and where to play as well.
Another change here as Hendrik de Souza, and from Pretoria, local from Pretoria, Arthur Kloof High School's graduate. He's played Falcons under 19 rugby as well. He comes onto the field now. Into the death zone here of this World Sports Betting Easter Club Rugby Festival match. Time, I'm afraid, has run out for Rovers, but can they get one more consolation here? They played enterprising rugby in the second half, in stark contrast with the first. They've only been rewarded with one try. Lovely leg drive. But possession given away. And now it's through the hands and out of the hands of the Bulls. The bar of soap has returned.
I think Marco Rogers couldn't believe he's unlucky. I mean, that ball was in the breadbasket. Instead of trying to fix it to pass, he literally just left his hands like it was a bar of soap for real. And I suppose it is at this point in time. And this man did so well. He actually fought as our Charles Goodall, because then I think he just did one too many. And he had too many guys on top of him, and obviously couldn't control the ball. Look at that. And I believe he dropped his heads immediately. And I suppose, I mean, the scrum used to be dominant. Let's see now with the reinforcements and obviously the changes, if they're going to go back to the glory days. But that is a significant difference that you have in the starting pack and the reserve pack. You know, I'm always a fan of having your reserve pack, if not better than your starting pack. And then the only differences would be the engine room. See the body position, and obviously his locks is still staying with him. We can see the power. He's actually gone over and turn over the ball like it belongs to the... Oh! Just gets worse.
Gotta love what JP Alberts has done on the park here today, and this time carried nicely by Echad Boshoff, and he's over the line. Hasn't been dotted down though. Referee says no. But lovely work there between the flanker and the 8th man.
Yeah, I gotta say it started from the front row. And the scrummer probably had to make that dashing tackle because all big bodies were actually running around him. I mean, there was no way he could have affected that tackle. And that scrum was actually devastating. Remember Nas Olivier, formidable. Told many men still loves this rugby, and clearly this man is in agony. I mean, look at that tackle that attempted to make. I think he might have actually got himself in a sticky situation. That's always the case when a big body lands on your ankle when you're running the opposite direction. I think that's the kind of pain. But in his efforts, he actually helped save that try. Otherwise, we would have another 5-pointer that was talking about. There's no way he's going to step on that the way he was talking about now. They could use the magic ice. At this point in time, I don't think it's going to work.
Be really sad if this is the end of the match for Sinovuyo Nyoka. He's come onto the park and he's made a difference. In fact, he's been the difference for his side in the second half. Be really sad if that's how it ends for him this afternoon.
Yeah, no, definitely that's the end of his day, man. A man who really made a difference. That's a spark that you need from the bench. I was talking about your players being even par. But then they need to make it hard for the coach to choose, so that the coach chooses a player on 1 or 2 differences. But then when every time the player comes on, makes a bigger difference, then he forces the coach next time to actually start him. Because you need to start like that. You need to start with a bang. And I tell you, what's coming next is probably 8-man shove. And there's the scrum of his keenness, had a conversation with the man with the cleanest jersey on the field to say, listen, as soon as that thing goes forward and the arm comes out, bring it. Maybe we want to do some magic move that we haven't tried today. Let's see if the scrum is good.
Viers is fed. There's that shove you were talking about. Held up nicely. Now Viers in the action. How's this for a leg drive? Still on the side of the Naka Bulls, or is it? Looking for that bar of soap in the wash. Yeah, it's on their side. Very good close in support. That try line is beckoning. Good organised defence here by Rovers. Desperate not to cede another try. Meters made. Try scored.
They just had to have that last hoorah. And after the scrum as well, they wanted to have it via the scrum. I mean, the man has been in trouble and has been in all sorts of things today. And he decided to close the day with a smile again. On the high, talking about the big man, Stefan Vermeulen, and done well deserved. I mean, this pack is actually deserved anything that's come to them because they totally dominated the proceedings today.
The big man from Randfontein gets over here for yet another try. And the stronger of the two sides across the 80 minutes are finishing very strongly here. Naka Bulls just showing the power of the game being played up in the nation's capital. And beautiful scenes here at the end of the match. Fantastic scenes here. Camaraderie between the players, opposition players having just been scored on. The final opportunity here for Danny Mokwabane to add the 2. Should be an easy enough kick even in these conditions. And he's hooked this one to the left, I'm afraid. So 2 gone begging. And a fantastic end to a dominant display here by the champions of the Carlton Cup, the reigning champs. The ABE Midas Naka Bulls have pulled off a massive win here over the men who arrived in Gauteng yesterday on Easter Friday. The current holders of the Moa Cup. College Rovers. They've been vanquished here by the side in yellow. It was a dominant display up front amongst the forwards, driven superbly by the main instigator and organizer of that forwards pack, the hooker Sydney Tobias. And the men in blue, they've been beaten all ends up today. Ahead of this game, chatting to members of the coaching staff of the Naka Bulls, who said that on sight it looked to be a good pack to go up against, and that was where this game was won and lost. So they'll be happy that the Naka Bulls side made it a 37 win at the end of 80 minutes. 5 tries to 1. A scoreless first half for College Rovers. They added just that 1 try in the second half. But 5 in total. You have a look at the territory. Very much in favour of Naka Bulls. At one stage for 20 minutes they played pretty much on the try line of College Rovers, who had to defend and dig deep. But they just couldn't resist. Ball possession stakes all in favour of the winners today. The Naka Bulls, 69% of it, which will reflect in the scoreline the way that it does. So a very good start here to the World Sports Betting Easter Club Rugby Festival, the home ground of Harlequins in Pretoria. It's one of their own. Team from the nation's capital, champions from this region, who have cried victorious at the end of 80 minutes. Naka Bulls 30, College Rovers 7.
I'm now with the man of the match of this game, Tobias.
Baie dankie. Het sou nie moontlik gewees het sonder 'n span. Wonderlike span nie. Ek dink dit was 'n 1 tot 15 man poging. En ek is net baie dankbaar vir coach Jake wat ons release om bietjie game time te kry, en is lekker om saam met die klub ouens te speel. Jy weet, jy kan net jol en dis al wat hy wil doen.
Thank you to College Rovers for pitching up. First off, we could have measured ourselves. Second off, we slipped on a few things to work on. It's good to compete against one of the best club in the KZN area. We have got a goal at the end of this tournament that we want to be the best in South Africa. So we have to compete against the best in South Africa. So there's one step down, there's one step to go, Durban. So we're looking forward to that match on Monday.
And now with the winning coach, Marinus van der Vat. And how are you feeling after this game, coach?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was a tough game, really good game. Thanks to Rovers for coming up to Pretoria. Wet weather, just glad we got the win. Very ecstatic about it.
Was that the plan today?
Well, we thought it's going to be a really tough game. I think we were lucky at times, but today we showed that we're a class team.
So you're happy with how the boys responded to what was given in front of them and actually played accordingly?
Yeah, definitely. I think our pack did all the hard work, and the backs came for the party as well, and they were physical as well. So very chuffed about this performance.
Well done, coach.
Thank you very much.
Bienvenue, and coming up on the Top 14 highlights with me, Jeremy Clayman. After heavy defeats, who out of host La Rochelle and visiting Racing would rediscover that winning feeling. Bordeaux hoping the return of Les Blue Stars would help end their losing streak as they travel to the capital to face Stade Francais. Dupont, one of 9 of Toulouse's 10 Grand Slam champions to start as the champions went on the charge against 4th place Lyon. The battle for the playoffs intensified with just 5 match days remaining. The end of the Six Nations meant the return of top 14 stars, especially the Grand Slam winners, France. Toulon coach Franck Azema was up against his old team Clermont at the Stade Moriol. His team bolstered by the return of French slam hero Jean-Baptiste Gros and Gabin Villiers will